Tonight, military strategists are trying to get inside Vladimir Putin's head.
It's voice activated. It's got the ability to carry anti-armor rocket launchers and do all kinds of stuff to support troops as they go into battle.
Humanity finds itself teetering on the edge of a bold new era of warfare, and it's not because we finally perfected laser guns or developed a cloaking device. No, the game changer this time is the rapid advancement of artificial intelligence, which has given birth to a whole new breed of weapons platforms. These bad boys can not only identify and target human beings, but they can also make the decision to end a life all on their own. Officially, these autonomous killing machines go by the rather ominous name of Lethal Autonomous Weapons Systems (LAWS). But let's be real, killer robots has a much better ring to it. Now, a whole bunch of countries, including the big players like the United States, China, and Russia, have been pouring buckets of cash into developing these high-tech horrors. None of these countries have actually unleashed their killer robots into battle just yet, well, except for Russia. Russia has just proudly unveiled its very own killer robot, and let's just say it's got the rest of the world feeling a little uneasy. So what's the big deal with Russia's killer robot? And how might Russia's killer robot affect the balance of power in the world, especially in Ukraine? Join us as we take a look at Russia's new robot army. The use of autonomous drones in the war in Ukraine has certainly stirred up quite a commotion. Both Moscow and Kyiv have been using these uncrewed weapons to take aim at enemy soldiers and infrastructure, sparking intense debates among experts, activists, and diplomats worldwide. The emergence and deployment of such machines have led to a flurry of discussions about the potential benefits and risks of using robots, as well as the pressing question of whether and how to put a stop to them. Now, if drones are causing this much of a stir among activists and diplomats, just wait until they get a load of Russia's latest announcement. Russia has just unveiled its first robot army, and it's claiming that these robots can win wars without any human casualties. It's like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, except this time it's real. The name of this robot is FEDOR, also known as FEDOR the robot. This Russian humanoid robot was originally designed for space exploration, but it turns out that it's got some other tricks up its metallic sleeves. Not only can FEDOR replicate the movements of a remote operator, but it also can perform such actions autonomously. And when we say some actions, we mean that it can actually shoot with both hands, no less. This revelation led to the imposition of sanctions as foreign companies supplying components for the robot decided to cease their cooperation. Gears, sensors, engines, cameras, and computers were no longer flowing into FEDOR's workshop, leaving its creators in a bit of a bind. However, the resilient developers of FEDOR have taken matters into their own hands, transitioning to domestic alternatives and ensuring the evolution of their creation continues unabated. The journey of FEDOR began in 2014, and it made its grand debut in 2016. Since then, this remarkable robot has been busy mastering an impressive array of skills, from using a key to open doors, operating a fire extinguisher, and wielding a saw, to driving a car and even demonstrating its prowess at crawling on all fours. FEDOR has certainly come a long way. Not content with these accomplishments, the robot has also managed to achieve the extraordinary feat of performing both traverse and longitudinal splits, thereby setting a world record. Standing tall at 180 centimeters and weighing in at a sturdy 105 to 106 kilograms, FEDOR is truly a force to be reckoned with. But FEDOR is not the only one making waves in the world of robotic innovation. At the recent Army 2022 Arms exhibition in Moscow, a new contender emerged in the form of a robot dog armed with a grenade launcher. Developed by the Russian company Intellect Machine, this canine-inspired creation boasts impressive capabilities in shooting accuracy and weapons transportation. In non-military settings, it can be deployed for tasks such as reconnaissance, navigation through debris, and delivering much-needed medical supplies during emergencies. On the battlefield, the robot dog is equipped to handle target designation, patrolling, and security duties with equal aplomb. However, not everyone is convinced of the originality of this Russian Russian marvel. The United States has raised eyebrows, suggesting that the robot dog with a grenade launcher is nothing more than a knockoff of a Chinese counterpart. The resemblance to the Unitree A1 robot from Russian Robotics is uncanny, and suspicions have been further fueled by the fabric draping used to conceal the M81's true origins. As one publication boldly asserts, it seems entirely obvious that the robot was not developed by a Russian manufacturer. Russia has also set its sights on creating an avatar robot within the next decade. This futuristic machine is not just an old robot, it's designed with the potential to replace soldiers on the battlefield. This avatar robot, set to make its debut within the next 10 years, can be designed in either anthropomorphic or non-anthropomorphic form. In layman's terms, that means it could either resemble a human or look like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. The developers aren't stopping there. This robot is set to possess functional capabilities comparable to humans. We're talking about a machine that can independently interact effectively with human infrastructure, traverse rough terrain, provide first aid, and even operate a vehicle. Move over, MacGyver. There's a new handyman in town. That's not all. In 2015, Russia introduced the first development of a humanoid robot capable of shooting and driving vehicles. A manipulator arm controlled by an operator nearby is used for firing. Now, before you start picturing an army of these avatar robots marching into battle, hold your horses. While these robots could potentially replace live soldiers in the future, it's more likely that other countries, such as the United States or China, will be the first to implement such groundbreaking technologies globally. Sorry, Russia, but it looks like you've got some competition on your hands. But of course, Russia has other tricks up its sleeve. The Uran 9, which is one of the most powerful ground-based drones in the world. This unmanned combat vehicle holds the top position globally when it comes to firepower. It's like the Terminator of the drone world, unstoppable and packing some serious heat. Visually resembling an infantry fighting vehicle, the Uran 9 measures approximately 4.5 meters in length and 2 meters in width, with a total combat weight reaching 10 tons. This bad boy is equipped with a 30mm automatic cannon 2A72 paired with a 7.62mm machine gun. But wait, there's more. Launchers with 9M120 Ataka anti-tank missiles are installed on both sides of the turret. And if that's not enough to make you quiver in your boots, these can be replaced with Igla anti-aircraft missiles if needed, providing air defense capabilities. 6 reactive flamethrowers, Schmel, are positioned at the rear of the turret. That's right, folks, this drone means business. In the world of unmanned combat vehicles, the Uran 9 stands tall, boasting firepower that leaves its Western counterparts in the dust. This combat robot has even strutted its stuff in real combat operations in Syria, where it reportedly showed off its skills. While the nitty-gritty details of its performance in the Syrian conflict remain a mystery, it's clear that this machine is no slouch. Of course, like any cutting-edge technology, it's not without its quirks. While the US, UK, France, and other countries are busy tinkering away with their own combat robots to minimize human casualties on the battlefield, Russia has been playing catch-up in this arena. However, with the introduction of the Uran 9, they've certainly closed the technological gap. It's like they've gone from a leisurely stroll to a full-on sprint in the race for robotic supremacy. And let's not forget about the armored tracked vehicle Cernik. This bad boy is designed for all sorts of tasks, from reconnaissance and patrolling to demining and guarding territories. It's like the Swiss Army knife of combat robots with 3 control modes to boot. Plus, it's no slouch in the speed department, hitting up to 40 kilometers an hour. That's faster than your average rush hour traffic. This armored robot isn't just a one-trick pony. It can do everything from providing fire support to evacuating the wounded. It's like the ultimate multitasker, but with armor that can withstand gunfire up to 7.62mm caliber. Talk about tough. And if that wasn't enough, it comes with interchangeable combat modules that can be armed with everything from machine guns to anti-tank missiles. It's like a customizable action figure, but way cooler. You can mix and match to your heart's content, whether you're in the mood for some heavy artillery or fancy taking down some pesky tanks. You can also slap on a high-speed 30mm cannon and anti-aircraft missiles for good measure. It's like the cherry on top of an already impressive robotic sundae. Russia has also introduced the Nerekta and Marker, both of which are designed to carry out a wide range of tasks on the battlefield without endangering the lives of human soldiers. The Nerekta combat robot is a group of robotic systems that operate under a single control system, which can be remotely operated by a human operator or accompanied by the operator on the front line. This versatile robotic platform is equipped with a combat module and can be operated from a command post located anywhere, including in a separate armored vehicle or at a stationary point. Before engaging in battle, the Nerekta robot is loaded with a map of the area and grids of key landmarks to be eliminated. During combat, Special Forces can simply select a task and the robot will execute it, whether it's reconnaissance operations, adjusting fire on enemy positions, or delivering ammunitions and supplies to hotspots. On the other hand, the Marker combat robot is a small tracked robotic platform that boasts impressive capabilities. It can travel up to 1,000 kilometers, carry heavy loads, and evacuate the wounded. Designed for military operations in both battlefield and urban environments, Marker has been tested in exercises and actual combat, proving its effectiveness. It can be operated remotely or autonomously with a claimed autonomous operation time of 50 hours or a 1,000-kilometer cross-country journey on just 30.5 liters of fuel. Now, with all these advanced robotic systems at its disposal, Russia has the capability to wreak havoc on the battlefield without putting its soldiers in harm's way. This development poses a significant concern for Western military powers as it signifies a shift in the balance of power and raises questions about the future of warfare. Now, before you start picturing a dystopian future where we're all at the mercy of robot overlords, let's take a moment to consider the implications of this technological advancement. On one hand, having robots do the dirty work of war could potentially save human lives. After all, if robots are the ones on the front lines, then that means fewer soldiers are at risk of getting hurt or worse. It's a compelling argument. Who wouldn't want to minimize the human cost of conflict? But on the other hand, there are some pretty significant concerns to address. For starters, there's the issue of accountability. When human soldiers make decisions on the battlefield, there's a level of moral and ethical responsibility that comes with their actions. But what happens when it's a robot pulling the trigger? Who takes the blame if something goes wrong? And more importantly, who ensures that these robots are making the right decisions in the first place? Then there's the whole question of escalation. If one side starts deploying robot armies, what's to stop the other side from doing the same? It's like a high-stakes game of technological one-upmanship, and the consequences could be catastrophic. We could find ourselves in a never-ending cycle of robot warfare, with each side trying to outdo the other with bigger, badder, and more advanced robots. It's like an arms race, but with robots instead of nukes. And let's not forget about the potential for misuse. It's one thing to have robots programmed for combat in a controlled military setting, but what happens if those same robots fall into the wrong hands? Imagine a scenario where terrorist groups or rogue states get their hands on advanced military robots. It's a chilling thought, to say the least. So where does that leave us? How do we navigate this brave new world of robot armies and autonomous weapons? Well, for starters, we need to have some serious conversations about regulations and oversight. We can't just let the technology run amok without any checks and balances in place. There need to be clear guidelines about how and when these robots can be used, as well as mechanisms for holding someone or something accountable when things go awry. What do you think about this? Let us know in the comments section.